Hi, everybody. It's Sunday evening. It's region weather meteorologist Matt Wintz with a look at your forecast. We've got a lot to talk about tonight involving a storm system that's coming our way. Boy, we're out ahead of it. What a weekend we had. 2 days in the 80s this weekend. That even surpassed my numbers, which were up. I was thinking 78, 79, and we hit 81 today and 82 yesterday. So what a weekend, right? Oh, it's coming to an end though, but not too crazy. We're not going to get crazy here in terms of cold air coming in. We're just going to go back to average later on this week, and we've got a soaking rainfall in between that's going to get us there. So we'll talk about timing of that. We'll plan out your week so you know exactly what to expect weather-wise, and we'll just chit-chat for a little bit, and then we'll get you on your way here on this Sunday evening. Thanks for joining us. We'll run our intro, then we'll be back with a forecast here on our Sunday evening edition of Region Weather Live. I like that intro. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Hope you had a nice weekend. My goodness. My goodness, it was so nice this weekend. The wind was a little brisk. I'll tell you, I don't really like wind. I think it ruins everything, but not when it's 80 degrees. It was just so great. And that's what we were expecting, right? We were talking about this last weekend. We were talking about how nice this weekend and how you should get your tickets for whatever pumpkin patch you're going to. I hope you did that. I hope you had a wonderful time outdoors this weekend. Things are going to change, as I mentioned. I want to say hi to Gregory. Abigail says, my son Adrian says hi. Hi, Adrian. Thanks for joining us, buddy. I appreciate it. Go to bed after this. Hello there, drummer Brett Scalone. Ann says hi as well. Mark joining us on our YouTube channel. Thanks, buddy. No problem. Always my pleasure to do this. I want to say hi to Michelle as well. Hi to you, Michelle. All right, let's thank our sponsors. They keep the show free, you guys. Facebook keeps asking me, they're like, you should charge subscriptions to everyone. Why on earth would I do that for something that I love? I will never do that, ever, ever, ever. But they keep pushing it. I'm sure they get a buck out of it as well. But just please support our sponsors. Our sponsors are awesome. They are just so nice to work with. I've had sponsors in the past that are, they're nice. I've got 3 of the best sponsors right now. They're fantastic. So we'll zip through them real quick, but please pay them a visit, like them on Facebook, whatever happens to be. Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. They specialize, they have a bunch of vehicles, obviously, but Jeep is their thing. The Jeep gets you through everything. Summer, winter, we have a Jeep, and I can't drive to work living in the snow belt without it. But they are the place to go. And they're a family-owned business. They've been around for a long time. So please support Grieger's, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Also, Tiger Plumbing. They've been with us for over a year now, which is just so special. I love them. They're the best plumbers in the region. So many of you have used them as well. It's tigerplumbing.net. They're a family-owned business. They come out for free, which a lot of places charge $99 to come out and analyze the problem just because they want you to use them and feel locked in. But Tiger Plumbing does not do that. They come out for free, analyze the problem. They'll give you a fair price after that, and they fix a lot of stuff. Whether it be leaky pipes or hose or whatever it happens to be, they can do it at tigerplumbing.net. And then our newest sponsor, they're awesome as well. And this just gets me daydreaming every single day. I want to show you their Facebook page. This is Discovery Travel. I was just poking around on here. If you're looking to get away, which many of us will be January, February, March, this is the place to go. They're local. They've been in business for almost 10 years now. They have 6 agents that are going to help you. And a lot of people, I know they say, hey, I don't want a travel agent take all my money and rip me off and do all this stuff. They do as little as you want. If you want them just to plan your flight and get you the best rate that they can possibly find on the web, they'll do that. If you want them to plan your whole trip, they'll do that as well. They do all sorts of things from flights to rentals to even insurance. If you want to go on tours and excursions, wherever your destination happens to be, they'll plan it out for you and get you a nice itinerary and take the stress out of planning travels. I have 3 kids. Travel stinks because you have to plan everything for these kids that need naps and stuff like that. They'll plan that. And I was just kind of poking around in here. Look at this ship. This is called the Icon of the Seas. Sailing begins January 2024. Look at this thing. It's massive. Someone commented, it looks like there's too many kids on there. Anyway, Discovery Travel. Again, it's Discovery Travel on Facebook. And the travel is TRVL, not travel spelled out, just TRVL. Okay. So discoverytravel.com as well. Okay, let's jump into the forecast for you. Here's what we've got going on. We've had the strong south wind over the weekend that got us into the 80s. My goodness. Tomorrow's still going to be warm, not quite as warm because we've got more clouds. And we're going to have some showers around tonight. This is what we were highlighting. I remember last week distinctly saying Sunday evening, Sunday night would be our next chance of rain. The models were keeping it west, but we had to watch it. And it does look like we're going to be clipped by some rain tonight. So here it is. This is it moving through. It's not going to last long. Tomorrow morning's rush hour, we may have a shower or two around. It should be clearing out. Then we're back to the strong south wind tomorrow. We are going to have more clouds, as I mentioned. Those clouds are going to be off of all this rain that develops down towards Missouri, down all the way down towards Texas. They need the rain out there badly. The drought has gotten bad over the last 2 months, areas just to our west. We could use the rain too. We know that. But the clouds will be coming off of this. So not a lot of sunshine tomorrow. We'll have some peaks, but overall a cloudier day. Strong southerly wind out ahead of us, but we should be dry. I think most of the day's dry tomorrow. Some of the models bring in the rain by late afternoon into evening. I don't think so. I think the rain will clear out. I think we'll be dry during the daylight hours. After sunset, I still think we'll be dry. It's really late tomorrow evening. We're talking maybe 10, 11 o'clock on into tomorrow night, especially that we bring this rain in. So this is our soaking rainfall for the week. This is going to move in Monday night and then especially Tuesday. So here's what we've got. Strong low pressure up near Minnesota is going to go up into Canada. That's going to leave a cold front that's kind of lost its punch out towards the west, right in here. Okay, you can kind of see it. So that'll stall out that cold front. It kind of stalls for a second. And what's going to develop is another area of low pressure down towards Oklahoma. All right. That low pressure is going to pick up where the front is. The front will be the train track, so to speak. So that's all the rain that you see. This is Monday night. This is now Tuesday morning. Here's your rush hour right here, Tuesday morning. Rain's really starting to move in earnest in waves. But this is that front kind of stalling out. It's going to sit over us Tuesday morning and midday. It's going to wait for that new low pressure to develop down to the south. And that new low will spiral up along where that front lays, which is going to be over northwest Indiana, northern Illinois. And then we have to wait for that low to clear out for our rain to go away. So what's that mean? That means some soaking rain around here. And it looks like a prolonged, perhaps 24 to 30 hour stretch of some decent rain. We'll likely have some breaks. It's not going to rain the whole time, but it's going to rain a lot more, I think, than we get breaks. And so I rarely use the term washout, but Tuesday kind of looks like a washout to me. We're going to have a lot of rain around here. It should be pretty persistent as well. So here's how it looks on the modeling. This is the latest HRRR. Yeah, I've got the latest HRRR pulled up. Rain moves in. This is your rush hour, as I mentioned, some showers, and then just pockets of moderate to even heavy rain at times. It'll go light at other times. But watch how this just kind of sits over us. And we're waiting on this low to come up. This is now Tuesday evening where we're still dealing with this low. If this little dry slot in here gets in here, then that's that. But this rain doesn't really clear out till early Wednesday. So that's a pretty decent stretch of some rain there. I want to pull up the NAM nest because my HRRR doesn't quite get through the event. The NAM nest will, though. So let me pull this up. I'll pull up the 18Z here. And we'll look at the evolution of this per the NAM nest. And I'll show you some rainfall totals because that's, I'm sure, what you really care about. There's our wave of rain tonight, just a little bit. And then here's that rain as it moves in during the daytime Tuesday. Look at that. The NAM nest actually keeps us a little drier during the day. It has some dry air from the southeast. So yeah, we could get that, but we could also use the rain. So I think we'll take it. And look how that low just kind of wraps up over us. How much are we talking? Well, we could see an inch or two, depending on where that axis goes. The NAM nest keeping most of the heavy rain in northern Illinois. But again, that HRRR keeps a little bit closer to us. That brings some of the heavier totals. See that? So we're talking 1 to 2 inches of rain per the HRRR, which is another high-res model that we use. Either way, we stand a chance of some pretty decent rain. I would say over ½ an inch would be a good bet. Do we get the 1 to 2 inch totals? Does it really matter? I mean, it's going to rain a lot. 1 to 2 inches is quite a bit. Our ground can obviously take that and could use that because it's been so dry. But the potential's there for that. But, I think all of us get at least ½ an inch out of this event, depending on the track of that and where the rain actually sets up. All right, so what happens after it clears out on Wednesday? I want to go big picture for you, if that's okay. So here's what we're dealing with. Here's this big storm system. I mentioned last week, and I mentioned it, if you joined us, we're now doing Thursday evening broadcasts. We call it Region Weekend, and we'll get you planning just for the weekend. It's a little bit shorter form. We won't go over 15 days, but, we'll talk about the weekend ahead, especially if there's a big storm system coming in. I think you'll find that helpful. But we talked about this on Thursday, how the West has not had a fall yet. The West has been very warm. They've had a pattern much like what we've gotten into last couple of days. They've had that for much of the month. So this is their first cold hit out west, and they've had a lot of snow in the mountains. This is the storm system right now that's going to be moving in here tomorrow. But look at all the snow in Montana. It's cold. They've got really strong winds out there. They've had snow in the Sierra Nevadas as well, but a lot of snow in the Rockies, and they need to build that snowpack. So here's our system as it continues to go up. And actually, let me change times on this. Sorry, I want to go further in time than just 90 hours. Let's go 240 hours out. All right, so here we go through time. Here's our wave of moisture tomorrow. This is Wednesday morning. If you can see there how the system is finally kind of pulling on out. There's not real cold air behind this. This system's not going by from west to east. It's not going by from northwest to southeast, which really drags in that cold air. It's going from southwest to northeast. So that kind of keeps the warm air around. We're going to get cooler. We're going to drop back into the 50s for highs later this week. But as that system moves on out, not much going on this week weather-wise in the country until late in the week. This little disturbance will slide through the Rockies, head down towards Texas. This is our next chance of rain after our Tuesday, Wednesday system. And you can see the models do differ on how they handle this. Both of them, though, do kind of eject it out into the plains, into the Ohio Valley sometime over the weekend. So as we look ahead to next weekend, it does look like we carry some chance of rain, whether it be Saturday that this system finally heads on out. So timing on this is Saturday night. This is the Euro. It has us dry. It brings in some clouds and rain on Sunday next week. Doesn't look to be too organized of a system. It just looks like a gradual area of rain that moves through. Nothing like what we're getting this week. And then that moves on out, and you can see how we develop more rain around here next Tuesday, Wednesday. The west is still cold. East is still mild. So I don't see any snow in the forecast. This goes all the way through November 2nd. Just for fun, this is really the last thing I want to show you is the GFS, because this will go out. The Euro goes out 240 hours. The GFS will go out 384 hours. So we get a lot more days on this. But the accuracy level obviously goes down. You know, I like to talk about the GFS. So as we go through time, this as well has that little system coming out. It keeps us dry on Saturday. So next Sunday looks like there's the next chance of rain per the GFS as well. So if you're making plans for next weekend already, Saturday looks good. Sunday looks kind of rainy. That could change. Again, if that model speeds that system up, we may have rain around here on Saturday, but it could hold it off. We may have rain on Monday, you know, so that's kind of the flex time we need to give these systems a week out. But there'll be some kind of system moving through at some point. And then as that moves through, so watch this. This is the GFS. We stay mild. This is now November 3rd. This is Thursday. Again, we're in fantasy land. But look at this system that develops. This is sometime November 3rd, November 4th. Strong cold front comes through, says the GFS, and cold air comes all the way down into Texas, enough to produce lake effect snow, enough to produce snow as far south as our area, and that would be sometime November 6th and 7th. But the GFS doesn't bring much snow in here. A little bit of snow there. It kind of just brings dry air with this circulating area of low pressure and general troughiness. So what do we take from this? In some kind of hurricane down here near Cuba. All right, so what do we take from this? It looks like we stay mild, and by mild, I mean 50s and maybe some 60s from here on out, because we are going to cool down this week. We're going to head back to the 50s. But it looks like we stay in the 50s or 60s all the way through early November at this point. So that's some good news if you don't like the cold. The models are hinting at a colder November 3rd through 8th, somewhere in there, where we may be dancing around some snow. But overall, no big snowstorms in the forecast, no big cold dumps in the forecast either, okay? Last thing I want to go over, because I almost forgot about this. A lot of you have been asking me for weeks now about the Halloween forecast, okay? So let me give that to you straight. And I'm going to go back to the Euro again, and we're going to talk about what we're dealing with. So we've got trick or treat Saturday night for some of you. I don't think there's too many places doing it Sunday night. If it's not Saturday night in your community, it's Halloween, which is Monday. So in terms of the forecast, we were talking about that. Saturday night looks okay. Monday looks dicey in terms of rainfall. So here's your Saturday night in terms of precip. Again, it's that system down in Texas. As we get into Monday, it looks like it's still lingering. So here's your Monday evening right here. This is your Halloween evening if you're trick-or-treating then. Some leftover showers as it looks right now. All right. In terms of temperatures, not bad. Again, no real cold air. Let me show you that real quick. And I'm going to zoom in for you because I know it's kind of hard to see on this view. And then we'll open it up to questions. So if you have any weather questions you want to ask, this is always how we end our Sunday evenings. Feel free to ask the questions in there. We'll be happy to answer anything you could possibly throw our way, even sports related, but try to keep them weather related if possible. Okay. I don't know if Kevin's on here. He always asks sports questions, mainly about the Bears. And that's okay. Sometimes about the Bulls, which disappointing loss the other night. All right, so here you go. So here's Saturday. We're talking temps Saturday afternoon, probably in the 60s, like I mentioned. So for trick or treat, if it is on Saturday night, it'll probably be in the mid 50s, somewhere around there, with increasing clouds. That would be my forecast right now. For Halloween itself, I think pretty similar to that. Here's your Halloween afternoon. The Euro saying mid 60s. So again, we'd probably be falling back into the upper 50s for trick or treat time. That's not bad. So, whatever your kids are wearing, whatever you're wearing yourself, you might need a layer, but you don't need a bunch of layers. There's some years where we have either windstorms or we're getting pelted in the face with sleet. You don't need to prepare for that this year. Okay, it won't be too bad. We're going to be on the mild side. And then, we turn cooler again as we get into later November. Here's kind of the older stuff or the colder stuff coming in from the west. And by later November, I mean later in that first week of November. We don't have a Thanksgiving forecast yet. Okay, so that's it. That's what we're dealing with in terms of forecasts. I hope that helps plan out your week. We'll let the rainfall model run here and we'll answer your questions and get you on your way tonight, okay? All right, let me go back. I missed a lot. Let's see. Hi, Mary. Hi, Gail. Good evening to you. Jeff, hello. Mark says we're all having fun and listening to you at Lieber State Park. Well, don't put the pressure on, Mark. I appreciate that. Anne enjoyed her weekend. Hi, Debbie. Deshaun, hello. Beverly, hello. Justin, thank you very much. I appreciate you, pal. Thank you. Anne says we just had Tiger Plumbing come out last week. That's awesome, Anne. Hopefully 5 out of 5 stars. If not, let me know. I'll pass that on. And Sarah says she loves Discovery Travel. That's awesome. So that just makes my heart melt when you guys are talking about the sponsors as much as I do in terms of positivity. They're just great. Angie left her windows open this weekend. Tim at Discovery Travel's on. Hi, Tim. What? And they got their Jeep at Grieger's, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Oh my goodness. The sponsors need to all we can all have to get a big picnic together. It'd be great. Janice saying, Tim rocks. Can't wait to take the new cruise ship. That thing's amazing. John's asking, when can we expect our first snow? Okay, here's our first weather question. John, as of right now, it looks like probably mid-November. We'll have to keep an eye on that early set of days when we get cold, the 3rd through the 8th as it looks right now. But it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of moisture with that. It looks like it's just drier, colder air. And again, that's fantasy land. Anytime we're over 10 days, the forecast can change. We can tend to see trends. We can see if it is going to turn colder, but to be honest with you, in terms of storm systems, those are the things that fluctuate. So, we're getting a good signal that we're going to turn colder sometime November 3rd through the 8th. But will there be a system in here that brings moisture? That's too tough to tell. And that changes on the models too much. It's just too chaotic in the atmosphere. It won't stop moving. So for sure. Jody, I do iFit. Yeah. Here's the deal. I told you we just moved into our new place. 3 weeks ago now. So it's just been a lot of unpacking boxes, moving stuff around. It's just, it's never ending and there's still boxes everywhere and there will be for months. But anyway, I haven't taken a shower. I don't think I've showered all weekend. I'm just sitting in a pool of disgust right now. So this is the shirt I've been wearing for a while. I'm going to go take a shower after this, but it's been one of those weekends. I hope you guys had a no shower weekend as well. That's awesome. Yeah, Deshaun says, I know here in Gary today, over here my end of town, it was estimated 76 degrees. Yeah, we hit 80 at Valparaiso, 81 today. That's the site that we use here at Region Weather because it's most central. And by most central, I mean there's not that many METAR sensors around Northwest Indiana. There's not a lot of official temperature readings that come in. And to me, out of all of them, Valparaiso at Porter County Airport, that is the most central location. So that's the number we always use when I'm predicting highs and stuff like that. I know it's a different climate down for you guys down in Rensselaer, Wheatfield areas, but we have to pick a spot, right? Deshaun, hope I answered your temperature question. Adrian, in terms of the Halloween forecast, pretty accurate at this point. Again, I'm not telling you it's going to rain though. On Halloween itself, it does look like we're going to have some kind of leftover rain around. So I would plan for some showers for sure. Let's see. Maxwell says we need some rain. We're in a moderate drought. It looks like, yeah, Maxwell, we've dried out much like the plains have. We need this rain and probably another 3 to 6 inches of rain, which we can get easily. I'm not too worried about it. I know it's gone dry, but I'm not too worried about it. We can make that up with a couple systems that come through with just some nasty cold rain. But we need it this time of year. Brent says, in the fall, does the contrasting temperatures only rain from cold fronts as opposed to spring? It seems that warm fronts produce the rains. No, Brent, the setup's just a little bit different this time of year. We typically don't have a lot of systems coming out of the Gulf of Mexico this time of year. Because remember, in the spring, in the wintertime, the jet stream's down towards the Gulf of Mexico, right? That's where the main storm track is. In the wintertime, we get into the polar jet, which brings storm systems out of Canada and brings that really cold air, right? And kicks off the lakes. But it's this main subtropical jet that really brings the moisture and the storms. So in the wintertime, it's coming north, right? So it's heading from south to north, and it ends up in Canada in the summertime, the subtropical jet does. And so as it's coming north, you tend to get systems that are coming out of the Gulf and coming north with it, right? So that brings more of the severe weather threat. It brings more of the moisture with the warm fronts and the cold fronts. Whereas this time of year, that the jet stream settling down from the north, so we tend to get systems that come in from the north. They don't always tap into the Gulf of Mexico moisture, so they tend to be a little bit drier. That's not always the case, but if you were to do more times than not, we'd have a system out of the north or the west that doesn't have as much moisture as you'd have in the spring, if that makes sense. So that's why. We could still get moisture along warm fronts just fine, but it's not as common this time of year as it is in the spring. Susan, absolutely. Yeah, the drought is all over Northwest Indiana right now. And it's not just Northwest Indiana. The central plains, especially in the southern plains, have really dried out the month of October. So they've got some serious drought out there. And so we always want to look west for the drought. Drought tends to feed and produce more drought because you don't have as much evaporation. You don't have, you just have dusty surfaces. It doesn't hold it as well. So we don't want to get in a pattern where we continue to stay dry. This system this week, which arrives again Monday night into Tuesday, into Wednesday, all 3 of those days, really Tuesday, Wednesday are 2 rainy days. And Wednesday it'll be ending, Tuesday it'll be moving in. This rain is really going to help this week. It's just what the doctor ordered, not just for us, but for areas in the plains too. They really need it. Well, Ruth's asking a good question. Was this our last warm-up or will we get one more? It was so nice. It was so nice. This, I think, was our Indian summer, so to speak, because we already had a freeze for many of us, if not all of us, exception being Lakeshore. Ruth, I don't know if there's going to be another one like this. I don't see any more upper 70s, low 80s. We tend to get some upper 60s, low 70s in November. We could get a nice stretch then too, but I think this was our last really nice warm-up. But we could still have some more. And eventually, after a while, it feels, and Phoebe's asking the same thing. She thinks one more, and Phoebe, I sure hope so. I just don't think we're going to hit 80s again. We may have another warm-up that's in the 60s and 70s, which is going to feel real good in November after some 30s and 40s, right? So it all feels great, but I really think this is our last 80-degree one. This really overachieved pretty nicely too. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, everybody, I think that's it. I'm going to go take a shower if that's okay. My wife, I'm sure, would like that as well. I think that's it. Are you guys enjoying us on the radio? Have you listened on your way to work? X-Rock 103.9, Indiana 105.5, and Z107.1. We're doing our forecasts daily on there, which is really cool. We do talk back in the morning where we just chat weather for a little bit. It's a lot of fun. So I hope you guys catch us on there. I know a lot of you, still listen to the radio on the way to work. I know I do. It's just the most local thing you can get. I tried Sirius XM for a while, and to me, it's just not local. I don't feel connected. I don't feel like I know what's happening, I guess, if that makes sense. Music's great, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Something about local radio, something about local TV too. I know, trust me, I know all that stuff. Is everyone says it's phasing out, but I don't think that's going to change a whole lot. I think local television, especially local meteorologists, have a lot to provide that national just can't cover for local areas. So I appreciate your support. Hope you guys are catching us. And Kathy, awesome. That's awesome. Deshaun, thank you. I appreciate that. Anything you guys need, let me know weather-wise. We'll go live again on Thursday. So we're doing it on Thursdays. We're calling it Region Weather Weekend. Appreciate those of you that caught us last Thursday night, but we'll just get you ready for your weekend weather-wise and go from there, okay? All right, guys, appreciate you. Have a wonderful evening. We'll talk to you as we go throughout the week, especially on Thursday Live, but we've got forecasts for you all week long, okay? All right. Appreciate you spending your time with us. Really, it means a lot. It really does.